In this video, we will look in depth at the Employer Confirmation Guide, or ECG, and why it is important to your qualification. The ECG is a document completed by your supervisor or manager and contains a series of statements that must be ticked to say that you are competent in that area of work. Each section of the ECG relates to your qualification and includes topics such as health and safety, working with others, coordinating work on site, and, most importantly, performing work on plumbing and heating systems. The ECG is proof that you have reached the required standards on site and are ready to complete the project for Level 3. Once each of the sections have been completed by your employer, the document will be handed in and checked by your assessor. When it is handed in, you must have evidence of the work you have completed on site to back up this document. This is the reason we are asking you to collect evidence of the work you complete on site. If you do not have enough evidence to support the ECG when it is handed in, you will not be able to progress to the on-site project or finish your qualification. There are many ways you can collect evidence of the work you do on site, including photographs of work you have completed, videos of you working, written statements and diary accounts of the work you complete, documentation such as job sheets, testing results, and customer sign-off sheets, witness testimonies from people you have worked with, completing evidence sheets supplied by your assessor. Now we understand the background to the ECG. Let's take a look at what you need to achieve and have signed off by your supervisor in each unit. Unit 312 is about showing that you can work safely and protect yourself, other people, and the environment. You need to show that you can follow your company's health and safety procedures and complete the required paperwork correctly. You need to prove that you can identify and deal with at least 6 different types of workplace hazards. You also need to show that you can report hazards to the correct person and make sure other people are working safely. You will also need to explain how you would respond to at least 2 different emergencies, such as a fire, electric shock, flood, or injury. You must also show that you use PPE, tools, and equipment correctly and follow the correct procedures for storing and disposing of waste. Unit 313 is about communicating and building good relationships with customers and other people. You need to make sure you have the correct information about the job and understand the system you have installed or maintained. You then need to be able to explain the system to the customer and show them how to use it safely. You also need to check that the customer's requirements have been met and that the system is working correctly. At the end of the job, you need to complete a proper handover and provide the customer with the information they need. Unit 314 is about organising people, materials, and work so that the job is completed safely, correctly, and efficiently. This unit is aimed at showing that you can take responsibility for organising other people and making sure work is completed safely and correctly. You must give clear instructions and check that they understand what is required. You may also need to coordinate with other trades and contractors working on the same job. You need to monitor the work and make sure it is safe, meets the specification, and follows current regulations and industry standards. You also need to complete the correct paperwork and show evidence of at least 3 different workplace procedures, such as risk assessments, RAMs, accident reporting, or customer service. You must also work with at least 2 different types of relevant people to resolve problems. Unit 320 covers the electrical work that is associated with plumbing and domestic heating systems. Before starting work, you need to check that the electrical equipment, cables, and components are suitable for the system. You must demonstrate the correct procedure for safely isolating electrical supplies before carrying out work. You will work with electrical equipment and components used on plumbing and heating systems. These can include boilers, pumps, controls, wiring centres, immersion heaters, showers, and other equipment. Finally, you need to be able to identify and correct electrical faults within the limits of your role and competence. Finally, Unit 321 is one of the larger practical units and covers a wide range of plumbing and heating work. It is about installing, testing, commissioning, servicing, and maintaining plumbing and heating systems to the required standard. Before starting a job, you need to check the drawings, specifications, paperwork, tools, equipment, and access arrangements. You must make sure the work area is safe and produce or follow the required risk assessment and method statement. You will need to plan work alongside other trades, and report any changes or problems. You will also need to carry out calculations and select the correct components for different plumbing and heating systems. You will have to install pipework, joints, appliances and components, and make sure they are fitted correctly. You will have to work on a range of systems which must include central heating, and then select from a range including cold water, hot water, rainwater and sanitation. Once the work is complete, you need to inspect, test and commission the system. You will also carry out servicing and maintenance, identify faults and complete repairs or the component replacements. Once the ECG has been completed and all your evidence has been submitted, you can then start preparing for your Level 3 project. This involves planning a series of tasks at work where you will be seen in action by your assessor, who will mark and record the work you have completed. This will eventually lead to a professional discussion with an assessor from EAL and the awarding of your Level 3 certificate.